Hey guys, it's Darcy again. Apologize if you just joined me live. Wanted to let you know I'm retaking it because for some reason the camera was sideways. So I'm really excited to be talking with you every Thursday in my Facebook Live, the Thoughtfully Fit Thursdays, because the fact of the matter is I talk to a lot of people, and over the decades as I've been coaching and consulting individuals, I have found that there is a theme of what I hear over and over again of what gets in the way of someone having happiness and success. And sometimes what gets in the way is attributed to them internally and their own gremlins and saboteurs. And sometimes what gets in the way is more external, their relationships, the quality of their relationships, and whether there's tension or conflict and they can't quite figure out how to get their goals met and find that success. And so one of the things with this model that we look at, and I talked about last time, is you have to strengthen your core. And at the core of the model is this concept of pause, think, act. So before you act, behave, do something, you need to pause first and think about what's the impact that you want to have. And then you act. And a lot of times, people aren't having a hard time acting. There's a default response, and they aren't being very thoughtful. And that's what's cool about this model, is that there's the internal and external components. So internally, when you look at the definition of thoughtful, it's careful consideration. So thinking about what do you want to do, and considering the options and being thoughtful. And then there is the external, which is consideration of others. And that's all about how am I interacting with someone else? And the theme I've seen is one of those two things gets in the way of people finding the success and the happiness and the joy that they want. So I oftentimes have people ask me, actually they're surprised when I tell a story about where I have screwed up, where I've had tension and frustration and conflict in my life. And so am I thoughtfully fit? No. But the cool thing is, because I've been working on this model over the last 18 months, oh my gosh, I'm so much more able to recognize when I'm not thoughtful and readjust and behave, act differently. So let me just give you one story, one example. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter Josie had her 10th birthday, and I decided that I wanted to give her a special gift. She's in hockey, plays squirt sea hockey, and she is on the volleyball academy, and so she works out a lot. So I decided I was going to give her a massage for her birthday, and I was really excited to do something special and something different. So I surprised her on that morning and said, I'm going to pick you up from school today and bring you to a massage. And I gave her a note to give to the teachers. And so at 2:30, I drove to school and to pick her up, because in order to get to the appointment at 3 o'clock on time, I had to drive her there. And right when I got there, the phone rang. And I was talking, I answered it, and I was talking and watching as the kids were coming out, but I was really multitasking and very distracted. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, the buses are driving away. Oh my God, I gotta go. And so I hang up the phone, I go running out, and I see Josie's teacher there, and I said, where's Josie? And she's like, oh shoot, I saw the note that you were gonna pick her up, but I forgot, and she's on the bus. And I said, oh shoot, and I go running, trying to catch the bus, and I see Josie, and I'm waving and trying to get her attention, and of course, she's reading her book and doesn't see me. Well, immediately, my default response is to be annoyed. I have a strong value for being on time, and I now was annoyed. I was not going to be on time. So I drove home, and the only thing I could do was wait for the bus to arrive, which it didn't arrive till 3 o'clock, so it was certain that we were going to be late. So Josie gets off the bus. She comes, she sees the minivan, she comes in, she's like, hey Mom, what's up? And she just said, oh Mom, I'm so sorry. I forgot. And I said, that's all right. Okay, hop in, let's go. We'll get there as soon as we can get there. And I had this sort of annoyed tone and this kind of frustrated energy about me. And I couldn't shake it. The whole drive there, I couldn't, it was just feeling frustrated. We check in, and now I'm annoyed because we're 20, 25 minutes late and they don't get us in right away and there's a line. And so we eventually get into her massage, and that energy was pervasive. Well, here's the good thing. Here's what happened is when you have somebody doing a massage that's under 16, the parent has to stand there. So I had a forced pause because when the massage started, the lights went down, she put a candle on, put on some calm music, and there I sat and I paused and I thought about, is this really how I want to be? And I realized it wasn't. I was not acting in a thoughtfully fit way at all, internally or externally. I was frustrated, I was annoyed, I was being short with Josie, ironically, when it was her birthday present. And so the massage got done and I acted differently. I said, Josie, I gave her a hug and I said, I am so sorry that I was frustrated. I'm so sorry that I didn't come to the bus to remind you to get in the car. Oh, that's okay, Mom. It was really cool. That was a great massage. I feel so much better. I apologized to the massage therapist. And I went back to the school the next day and I looped back with the teacher and I said, you know, I am so sorry. I was so short with you yesterday. I was just in the moment frustrated that I was late, and that was my fault. I wasn't out here, I was in the car. And she's like, oh, I felt bad that I didn't remember. And I said, no, it was totally my fault. And I was able to offer some repair bids, to be able to go back and apologize and act in a different way. And that's what's so important about this model. And what's so simple is that you pause and think about, what are the consequences? How do I want to show up? How do I want to be in this situation before you act? But the cool thing is, you start where you are. So wherever you are is absolutely fine. And where I was I screwed up. I didn't act in a thoughtfully fit way. So I had to loop back. I had to pause and think and then act to try to be more intentional, more considerate of others, and certainly more intentional myself on how I wanted to show up, because that was not the best version of me. And being thoughtfully fit is all about being the best version of yourself so that you don't have tension in your relationships, so that you aren't putting emotional energy into things that aren't working. Because when you're putting all this emotional energy into what's not working, it's harder to then be focusing on those dreams and visions and goals that you want for your life. And so my challenge for you today is to think about, where are there places in your life where you might be able to pause, even if it's just for a moment, to take a breath and think about how you want to show up in that situation and then act accordingly. And if you'd like to learn more about my model, I'd love for you to sign up for my free newsletter. It comes out once a month. I don't do anything with the emails other than send the email newsletter. You can sign up on my website at darcyloma.com, and I'll also put a link in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Well, we'll continue the dialogue to talk about and share stories and case studies and research on how you can lead your life more intentionally from the inside out. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great weekend.